You feel like you're struggling to get any power with your golf swing? If so, check out this latest video from the Golf TyKoon. I'm your host, TyKoon. If you like this video and others like it, make sure to click the subscribe button below. New video drops every Thursday. Check it out.
Power. This is the one everybody always wants to know, right? How do we break a slice, and then how do we generate power? So if I had to ask you guys, what generates power? What do you guys think generates power? I love to hear these. Okay, I like that one. That's good. I would say the length or the width of your backswing, right? That's one. I would give you that. Hip turn, okay? So make a long backswing. Are we turning the hips back or down or both? Through this way? Okay. What about you, Steve? Hands? Okay. All right, well, let's try this first. Okay, we're going to combine you guys. We're going to make a really long backswing, and I'm going to try to generate as much power as I can by turning my hips through the ball, right? Looks more like this. We'll get long. What happened? Did I turn my hips? Okay, so why didn't I make contact? I didn't hit the ball, right? So there's more than just body movement. I'm not a fan of people who teach people how to hit the ball further by leave the arms alone and turn. Who's heard that before? Oh, yeah. I have. I hate it, okay? If I simply just tried to leave my arms alone and turn, I would have to shorten the backswing as much as I could and turn my body really hard. I can't generate enough speed to get that ball in the air. It doesn't work, right? Now, if I take Steve's advice here, you see me try and hit this as hard, like I tried to hit that hard, but that hurts my body because I have to twist my spine and my hips as much as I can, and they're not built to do that, right? But if I don't move my body, and I'm going to try to keep my chest facing the ground, and I'm going to try to do this with just my arms, okay? So I'm going to try to keep my belt and the buttons on my shirt at the golf ball. Like I didn't hit the ground, but I got that ball to go a lot further, right? So what I'm getting at with this is in order to generate speed, we have to learn how to move our arms around our body on an arc, okay? In order to create enough angular momentum or centrifugal force to generate enough speed to get that ball to go as far as we want, okay? So what I find is most people turn their body enough, but they don't know how to use their arms properly, okay? So they turn enough, but then they don't know how to get from the top of the backswing to impact in an efficient motion that generates any speed, right? They get here, they get the arms way far back, but then they have to slow it down to try to get to the golf ball because they have no idea how to come down. Does that make sense? So what we're going to talk about is how to use your arms more efficiently, okay? So there are 4 motions, okay, and we're going to number them, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay, that accumulate, keyword, accumulate power, okay? Also known as power accumulators. For that reason, they accumulate power, okay? The first one is easy. This is the folding and the unfolding of the elbow, right? Think of throwing. If I throw anything or toss something overhand, my elbow bends, my elbow unbends. So we load this, we unload it, okay? If we don't know how to unload it, we can't generate enough speed, right? Now, if I tried to do this with just my arm, right? I can't get the ball to go forward, right? So I have to have the other 4 in order to make it work, okay? But again, right elbow bend and unbend. This is the first accumulator, okay? Second one is wrist hinge, okay? Up and down. So your right elbow goes up, your wrists go up. Now watch the length of the club, right? I can get that club to go up in the air versus just the elbow, right? Now I hinge the wrist. I can get that club to go a lot further. There's the elbow. There's the wrist, right? So now I can create a much longer backswing because I know how to move my arm and my wrist. Okay? Does that make sense? The third one, if I made this backswing, elbow, wrist, how do I get the club behind me? Besides turning my body, now I have to actually take this and I have to rotate my forearm or roll the forearm to get the club behind me, right? So roll power, okay, gets the club to move back behind you, okay? That's the third one. So you have 1, 2, 3, right? So just my right arm, bend, hinge, roll, right? Now, what's the fourth one? I've just done all those with my right arm, right? Fourth one's this arm. So my arm's down here. How do I get the club to go behind me? This arm has to move inward across my chest, right? So in order to make my backswing, this arm has to move inward because the right arm folds and the wrist hinge and the club rolls behind me. Now the club can get all the way back, right? So if I combine my body rotation, you guys weren't wrong. We have to turn to get back because the longer I can create this arc, the more potential for speed I have. But if I don't know how to load and unload, okay, in the downswing, turning and making a long backswing doesn't help me. We have to understand how to get it to move in the downswing. Does that make sense? So the sequence to moving in the backswing, we can't just do one and then do the other. We have to do them in order. The good thing is it's usually pretty easy. The backswing is. Okay? We number them in order of the way they move in the backswing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2, 3. Now my left arm moves up and across my chest. There's 4. Right? That's the easiest way to make your backswing as your body turns on a tilted angle is to load it 1, 2, 3. Left arm moves 4. Right? Now we're loaded. Does that make sense? What do you think the best downswing sequence is? This one's fun. Okay, so if we look like this, go ahead and slide this way for me a little bit, just so you guys can see this. So if I'm up here at the top, right, and I unload 4, 3, 2, 1, okay, I can't unload 4 without unloading something else, right? What if I unloaded 4 and then 1? Hey, now I can do that. 4 and 1 can go together. That makes sense. You were close. Most people think, oh, well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 coming down, right? 1, 2, 3, then 4. No, you were close in saying it's backwards. It's definitely 4 first, but 1 has to go with it. Because if this arm doesn't extend, I can't hold on to the club. Does that make sense? So 4, 1, 2, 3. So they load 1, 2, 3, 4. They unload 4, 1, 2, 3. And 4 and 1 are almost simultaneous. Okay? So the way that I train this is I generally try to take my lower body in the downswing out of the shot. Because most people hinge the club enough. Most people actually overload this, because if this bends too much, now my left arm's going to bend, which shortens the radius, which makes the club swing slower. Okay? If I overload my right arm, I have to bend my left, because if I kept my left straight, I can't hold on to the club, right? So the way I do this to train it is this motion is the primary motion that generates power. We load this, we unload it. The wrists unload last. If we can't unload this, we're in trouble. Now I want you to pay attention to where my arm goes in relation to my right shoulder. I'm probably what, 12 inches here? So as my arms come down, this distance just got greater, right? Almost doubled. It's gone to at least 20, right? if I just turn my body, this is why just turning doesn't work. Because if I got here and I just turned and I pin this to my body, I can't let this come down unless I move my body, right? But if this doesn't move early enough, it can't accelerate fast enough. Okay, think of cracking a whip. If I was to crack a bullwhip, right, I have to pull this. This has to stop, then the wrists go, and it pulls back to make it crack, right? So it loads, it accelerates, it slams on the brakes and goes in reverse to make that thing whoosh, right? Think of cracking a towel against the thing. I scare my kids with this all the time, right? Crack a towel against the cupboard and it makes a snap sound. I load it, I unload it, and I actually pull it back to make it crack, right? So if I take my setup here, I'm going to drop my right foot back a ton because I'm trying not to turn my body, okay? I'm actually trying to hit this as hard as I can by pulling my arms down as fast as I can, slamming on the brakes so that I can unload all my levers, my right arm, my wrist, right, my left arm forward, trying to unload that as fast as humanly possible, okay? You've already seen me try and do it without moving my arms. Let's actually do this and unload my arms efficiently. I can get that thing to come out a lot faster by just unloading my arms. I'm not trying to spin my body or turn through it. All that does is pin this arm and not let me do anything. Does that make sense? So we don't want to just turn our body through. All turning is going to do is change the direction this club is traveling. If I turn my body, my arms are going to go out and the club's going to pull over the top and across the golf ball. Therefore, I'm going to hit either a pull hook or I'm going to hit a slice. It doesn't necessarily add speed. It just influences my path. Okay? So if I can make a big backswing and turn to help provide this to get wider, it's going to allow me to accelerate the arms faster coming down. Okay? Either of you guys know who the longest person on tour is right now? Bingo, Rory. Rory's favorite drill to do with his driver is a split hand grip, and he doesn't hit a golf ball with it. He takes his setup, grips his right hand below his grip, sets the shaft parallel to the ground, goes to the top, and lowers this and slams on the brakes. All he's trying to do is pull the club down as fast as he can so that he's not spinning his body. Okay, Rory's golf swing, if you looked at him from a face-on view, does not go like this, right? Rory's golf swing goes this way. He lowers his arms, unloads them, and he shifts to the left. He's not trying to spin the hips. Rory's shot shape is a big old high draw. He works to straighten it out and curve the ball the other way, but he's not doing so by spinning his body. Okay, all that's going to do is potentially hurt you, and I don't ever want you to do anything that might cause injury in your golf swing. Okay, your spine is not built to do this much. That creates a lot of shearing of your vertebrae and your discs. I want you guys, when you practice this, is to set up, drop your right foot back. We refer to this as a bowler drill. Make a big backswing as long as you can make it. And as you come down, I want you to keep your back to the target as long as you can and pull the arms down, starting as fast as you can while making the shortest follow-through possible. This will help you snap the towel or crack the whip, right? So you saw me warming up earlier, and I hit a few of them where it was like, man, those felt really good. I just need to hit a few balls like this for the next 3 weeks. And I was trying to make this as long as I could, as fast as I could, with giving me the shortest follow-through possible. And that's just to allow the whip to catch up and create as much club head speed as possible. So we set up, right foot back. This just helps me keep my back to the target longer. super wide, with a really short follow through. And I can usually get that ball to go a lot further than I can when I start trying to muscle this on this side of the arc. Okay? Now, this is the same with every club in our bag, right? Driver, 3-wood, hybrid, wedge, right? Have you ever seen a tour pro hit a wedge shot where he looks like he's spinning or his follow through gets really long? He hits a wedge shot, his feet get closer together. That's usually their follow through, right here. They're not trying to get all the way through it. They're trying to keep that club moving at a very specific number to hit the ball a very controlled distance, right? So they're accelerating, but they're slamming on the brakes to get it, okay? They're not getting here and just spinning and spinning and spinning. Even if they say, oh, I'm trying to turn my hips more, they're still pulling their arms down, because if they didn't, they wouldn't make contact with the golf ball. So just to recap, power is created more from the loading and unloading of the arms, right? Turning in the backswing just helps get the turn or the club further around you so that you have more room to accelerate your arms. Your arms have to move away from your shoulders and down towards the golf ball in order to generate and sling that club, okay? Great way to practice this at home if you can't be out here and hit golf balls if the weather's bad. Take a roll of toilet paper, slide it down your grip so that it sits over here on top of your club head. Make a backswing. You'll feel it slide down against your hands. Your goal is to get that to the club head by the time you get to the golf ball fast, right? And try to throw that way at the front side of the golf ball. If I go this way and it gets down there before I get to the golf ball, that means I'm not moving my arms away from my shoulder enough. If that thing's sitting down here and I lower my arms, it's not going back up the club head. It's not going back up the club head until I let the wrist go and that club gets below parallel to the ground, right? That's a great drill for you at home to feel how to slam on the brakes and make this as short as you can. Okay? So we have a whip crack drill, right, with the toilet paper, and we have hit it as hard as you want and stop as short as you can to try and create as much club head speed as humanly possible. So the way your arms unload is what you've got to work on the most to get more club head speed.
If you're excited about going to the range and working on your golf game to add some effortless power into that golf swing of yours, click the link below and go to my Patreon server where you can actually schedule a one-on-one online lesson with me to make sure that we can get your golf swing working the way you need it to. I look forward to hearing from you. See you next time.